It's Jeff and Jeremy here with Dumbass of the Day, brought to you by Peterson's U-Cart. They're in A-Town. Big box stores can be overwhelming for both customers and employees. Don't waste your time and your money when it comes to landscape supplies. Trust the folks at Peterson's U-Cart in A-Town. They load, U-Cart, you save.
How pathetic can some people be?
I coach tennis besides doing this. Yeah. I coach a high school boys team about an hour north of here. And it's a very ritzy, well-to-do kind of town. And my biggest challenge as a tennis coach is the pep talk. Right? Because how do you fire up a tennis team? Like, how do you motivate kids that have everything? You know, I'm out there the other day. I'm like, you know what, guys? The other team, they think you're poor. They think you rent your summer houses. They think both your parents work. What are you going to do about it? Let's go. Mitt Romney on 3.
Dumbass of the Day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Principal in New York City is under fire. She was so anxious for summer to start. Didn't you all just have like a year off? Like, if you know what? If I was President Biden, I would make kids go to school through the summer this year. Be like, you know what? You had the whole damn year off. You're going to school. You're catching up, damn it.
Well, the teachers were there working, right? They were just doing it on Zoom? I don't know.
I mean, I'd say there's a lot of catch up to do. We got a country's future at stake here. Okay, let's rally the troops. You guys, it's one summer. Go to school this summer. One principal was so overworked in the Gramercy Park neighborhood. She sent an email to parents last week letting them know that there would be no in-person or remote classes the final week of school, but that students still needed to, quote-unquote, sign in electronically each day to satisfy the attendance requirements of the school district.
What?
Yeah, she was basically asking, this is the principal, asking the kids to cheat and get an extra week off.
Why did she?
Because she wanted to have an extra week off.
Oh, I see. Because, the 3 months isn't enough?
Yeah. Yeah. The 3 months.
2.5. I don't know what they
The 3 months plus the last 10 or whatever it was that you were able to work at 20% capacity. This upset some parents, rightfully so, because they were given no explanation as to why the decision to sign in each day electronically was necessary.
Plus, parents have to think about, what am I going to do with my kids while I go to work? Because I don't get a summer vacation. So now I have to arrange daycare or whatever.
One extra week because the principal wants to go to wherever. One parent complained, my complaint essentially, said, there was ever a year for more instruction rather than less. This is the year for more instruction. A lot of frustration over this. Having kids cheat to sign in for classes that aren't happening.
Gosh,
to cover their own
What a
ass.
great example. And you're the principal.
New York.
Couldn't you just take the last week off if you wanted to? It's not like you're teaching class.
Maybe she thought she was doing everybody a solid by giving them an extra week off after a tough year of sitting at home.
So
and
what ended
learning.
up happening to the principal out of this? Did she get in trouble? Or he?
It doesn't. She's being investigated as of right now. The Department of Education has since instructed the principal to contact the parents and let them know that students will be required to attend classes, and that happened this week. This is the week in which they have to attend the classes. This was the week that she tried to get off early.
Yeah. Well, there's
she
a lot
got in
there's
trouble, but I think she's going to keep her job.
A lot of good deals out there for travel right now.
Jeez. Lead by
Trying to get
example.
people on a cruise again or something. Hey, I got to go the week before 4th of July, though.
Lead by example, Stacey Goldstein. She's like, hey, listen, if you guys all sign in like we're here, then we can get an extra week off. You down? I'm sure the kids were down for that. Parents, not so much. Why aren't you in school? Oh, principal said all we had to do is log on electronically today. What? What's that all about?
She needs to go work for a private school, maybe.
She needs to get out of the education business. If she's looking to scheme the system to get a week off She needs to get out of the education
How stupid
business
is it to think, okay, if you're going to try to get away with something, you want the least amount of people to know about it, right? What do? You send out an email to all these kids and their parents. So now everybody knows.
Not the parents. I mean, I guess, yeah, it was sent to the parents.
Yeah, because they had to make sure that their kids logged in, right? Now you got everybody wanting to know why is what is going on.
Here's the deal.
Let's ask some questions.
I found a loophole that allows us to take the last week off of school if we just sign in electronically. You guys down?
What about all the other teachers?
What were they going to say? You were going to get all 1,200 students or whatever, how many ever students it was, on board with that plan without one parent saying, no, my kids need to learn? Come on.
Yeah, what do you got, 20, 30 teachers? They're like, why are we taking an extra week off?
Better shot at winning the lottery.
Yeah, no kidding.
Idiot. Lazy principal.
Short timer.
The name of this is what cracks me up. Okay, the name of the school is School of the Future.
We're short time with it.
School of the Future means we are lazy asses. Congratulations, Principal Goldstein. You're Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the Day.
Jeff, Jeremy, we got Whitney on. Farmers back tonight. Full force, full-fledged. Music, food, the whole thing. Hey, Whitney.
Hi. How are you?
We're doing good.
I wasn't here last week. I plan on making it tonight. How did everything?
Glad you made it home safely.
Thank you. It was an issue. We took off in a storm. Like, you could see the storm rolling across. Like, Florida's so weird because it's flat, so you could see the storms coming in.
Right.
And then he's like, okay, they pushed back our time. There's 4-minute intervals. We're hoping we can get off before the storm. As the storm's coming onto the runway, we're taking off, right? Way worse than Tower of Terror or anything else that you could get on. It was like, and we were sitting in the back of the plane, right? So it was like when you see a scene in a movie and before the plane goes down, that's the kind of turbulence that we experienced. It was nuts. People literally were like, if their seatbelts weren't on tight,
right? They were up.
They were coming up over their the seat was they were staying up here and the seat was dropping out from underneath them up ahead of me because you could see everybody because you're in the back of the plane. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And my wife reaches across the aisle because I was sitting on the other side of the aisle and across our son, and she grabs my hand. She just squeezes it because she thinks we're going down.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was the scariest thing.
Pilots are up there going,
No, the flight attendants got on the thing and they're like, hey, everybody, make sure you put your seatbelts on tight because this is some pretty bad turbulence. And that's all they said.
That's the worst. I had that happen to me in Denver, and it's just the absolute worst.
But you forget that traveling this time of year, that it's so hot on the ground. And once you get up high, it's cold.
And the cold air,
so you're going to, I mean, even though there was a storm, in Orlando, it was a storm that was rolling through. Wow. But even on our descent into Reno at nighttime, it was like 11:15 at night. Our descent into Reno, because it was hot on the ground and cold in the air.
Yeah, it's same.
It was clear skies.
Nevada is the worst. So that's the scariest flight I've ever had, was taking off out of Las Vegas. And I was on the back, very last seat. It's the only time my feet have ever sweat that I know of.
Yeah.
And I was wearing flip-flops. And I remember my feet were sweating. It was so bad. It was shaking up and down for probably, on and off for a couple of 45 to 60 seconds, but it was violent. Probably nothing like what you dealt with, but oh my God, that's awful.
It was nuts.
And these pilots, they do it all the time, right? Because, this is what they do for a living. So they're used to flying into storms and all this kind of stuff. They probably get a kick out of it. This is what I don't
understand, okay? When you're in a plane like that, and this was a good 5 minutes at takeoff, okay, that we were experiencing this. And these pilots do this all the time. That's fine and dandy. But these planes, when you're hearing that plane jostle around and you're hearing parts of that plane go
flexing and bending,
and bending, and the plane in the back is making noise. That can't hold up.
And you must have been thinking,
I mean, it was like taking a plane.
We're going to be on the news tonight.
Putting it in a washing machine.
Right.
You know?
Were you flying over water when this happened, or?
Well, Florida's a lot of it's a swamp, I guess. You know,
would have been were you thinking you were going down to the Everglades?
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment. Like, I put a lot of faith in the pilots.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the family calm because my daughter's freaking out as well. My son thinks it's awesome. He's like, all right. This is cool. You know,
this is more fun than the Disney World ride.
But my daughter's freaking out because she sees my wife freaking out. And I'm trying to be the strong, responsible one. But I'm going to be honest with you. I was scared crapless. I mean, I was like, I thought the minute that it did that drop where it launched that person 5 rows up from us that wasn't wearing their seatbelt tight,
jackass,
up into the air, I was thinking, okay, this is probably not going to end well. But then we get up above the clouds and everything's fine. Yeah.
Peaceful. Anybody like some sparkling water or orange juice? Maybe some ginger ale?
Ginger ale and Bloody Mary mix, anyone?
Yeah, I know the sound you're talking about, and it's the
fuselage moving.
Well, it's that, but it's all the people's carry-ons that are above you, and it's jumbling up and down in the. Oh, it's the worst sound.
But it sounds like the plane is falling apart.
Yes.
And you're like, how can you continue to fly that from city to city to city to city to city?
Here we go.
And then not, have to make repairs to the airplane.
Reason 107 why I'm never going to Florida, because I don't want to deal with that kind of turbulence.
In summertime, you can't avoid it.
There's so many other places I can go. I don't need to go there.
Like the farmer's market?
Yes.
No.
Farmer's market, no turbulence.
Yes, I'll go to the farmer's market, but I have to fly there.
Unless, what's the dude's name that juggles on the unicycle?
Oh, I don't know his real name. Well,
unicycle juggle guy
is the unicycling unicorn.
The unicycling unicorn. Like, the worst turbulence you have to worry about is him messing up and dropping a fake bowling pin on your head.
Yeah.
There is going to be some juggling tonight. I'm looking at the notes here. Whitney will send us notes of what we're going to talk about. Probably so we stay on task, because we've spent the last 6 minutes talking about turbulence.
An airplane.
Yeah, it still doesn't work.
Let's get to a break. We'll play a song. We'll come back with Whitney, and we're going to run down your list, okay? So we're on point.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Jeff and Jeremy here. We got Whitney on. We were just talking about Jeff's turbulence on his flight leaving Florida to come. It was coming back here. To the West Coast, and they were, there was a storm coming in. They had to try to get off beforehand, and apparently they just got the front of it, and they had a lot of turbulence. And we've all probably been on a flight that's jerked up and down. And when we were in college, we used to fly over the Cascade Mountain Range, and whenever you would drop out of that into Seattle, the air temperature would go from pretty cold to pretty warm, and you would get that. And it was fine because I was used to it because we did it all the time. But when you're in a different state, a different part of the country, different, weather, all this kind of stuff.
Storm is rolling on the horizon.
And the plane starts jerking.
He decides, okay, now's a good time to get up before the storm hits us.
I'm the same way as you, Jeff. I'm like, you know what? God, they do this all the time. They do it every day. They do it every day. And as you're jerking around, you're like, no, they got this. They do it every day. And then you're like, oh, my God. Okay, I almost had a freak out there. And it reminded us of this is what happens when you fly.
The airlines are all bankrupt now, all of them. Things are already different. It's already a different experience. I was on a plane 4 days ago, cross-country flight on a major airline. And this is all true. About halfway through the flight, the plane took a nosedive. For about 5 seconds, we were in total free fall. And after that, they tried to sell us pictures of us looking terrified.
I can see your face.
For $8.95. And I'm telling you, when you see it, you have to have it. But still.
Don't you wish they had a photo of you?
Yeah.
I would love to have seen how big your eyes were.
So when it gets like that, I start looking around. I start taking inventory of the people that are traveling on the plane, and every plane's got that person that has to travel, almost daily.
Business, sure.
Business traveler. Even ones living Orlando, the land of Disney World and theme parks aplenty. There's going to be a business traveler on it. And I'm looking around and I'm sizing up the business traveler. I got to find the business traveler, see how he's reacting to it, because however he or she is reacting to it.
Yeah, we're just reading a magazine.
Yeah, then I'm going to be like, okay, this is normal. Nope. business dude was freaking out as well. And that's when I knew that it was a bad moment.
Oh, man.
Wow.
No.
Anyways,
no coast to coast flying for me. Not
fun trip. Not in the summertime. Summertime is not. It's too hot.
Because every time I fly, even out of here, and I'm just flying to Seattle or whatever. I mean, that first 60 seconds, you're like, well, something bad's going to happen. It's going to happen now, and then once that's over, then you're fine. So,
5 minutes if you take off in a storm.
There is no bad 60 seconds at Farmers Market. It's all good.
I don't know. The woman that has to go around and tell the cars to move might think that there's a bad 15 minutes.
Well, if you're there by around 5:30 and your car's getting towed, that's a bad 60 seconds. But that's only going to happen to people that park somewhere they shouldn't, right, Whitney?
That's right. Yeah. And we haven't we close down streets now starting at 5:00. So there's a whole hour of us now trying to make it happen.
So I'm looking at this. You got a lot of music here. What do you got? A bunch of music acts on different streets. Are we back 100%?
Yes, the market is back. All of the things you missed were there last week. They'll be there tonight. It's just crazy. You can see people smiling. You can see live music. You can eat food. You can dance. It's just everything's there. 5 blocks of super fun times.
Mama's Meatball. Do they just sell big meatballs?
They sell all sorts of Italian food. They sell meatballs, pasta, lasagna. They even have Italian wedding cookies and baked pies and other fun things that they make out of the restaurant. They have all sorts of fun.
McClintock's, are they the ones that have the huge line?
Oh yes.
Was it huge
Their
last
line
week?
Was so long last week. People started lining up probably around 5:30.
Everybody's doing the same thing they're doing. What is so special about McClintock's? I've been trying to figure this out. I've never stood in that line. It's too long. I just don't understand. There's ribs and tri-tip and all this barbecue you can get up and down 8 blocks of the damn place, but for some reason everybody stands in their line.
Well, you have to remember that a lot of people come to our market to create memories, and they've also heard about it. And so McClintock's has been with us since day one. They were the first food vendor that joined the market in '83. And they have, they do the hollering and the whole tri-tip on the grill, it's kind of like a show essentially. So you're not just waiting in line for food. You're also enjoying the show that's happening, and it's just a cool experience. At 6:00 they do the national anthem. They have just a whole thing, and it's just they're buying into the experience. It's more than just tri-tip.
It is. Just watching people barbecue meat and make a lot of noise is entertaining. That's for sure. I see here that Ribline Garcia's and a few other places actually help and donate some food to your guys' volunteers that help get the market off the ground and running.
Yeah, so we have a volunteer program at the market where people are in the intersections helping people find their vendors, helping, mitigate no dogs are allowed at the market. It is a California statewide health code, so they're helping with that piece, helping people find the bike valet and other sorts of things. And to thank our volunteers, these vendors have donated meals, so at the end of the volunteer shift, our volunteers can then go get a free meal from Ribline, Garcia's Tamales, Lucille Crepes, Sugar Lip Donuts, or Cowboy Cookie. Huge shout out to them for helping us recruit volunteers and keep their bellies full.
I should go and get are they still doing the Cowboy cookie ice cream sandwich?
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy. That sounds good.
That's so good.
I think that was my favorite part last week. It was just I remember this. It's just been so long. And you just don't realize how long you had gone without seeing these faces.
How long,
it was just
since I wasn't here, and I guess I can see this tonight, but how long was the Shins line?
Ooh, they sold out probably 2 hours into the market, maybe a little bit before that. The line was pretty long.
What is Shins?
Yeah.
Is it sushi?
But
it's the Korean barbecue.
Yeah,
right at the
they do
intersection of Garden
teriyaki
and Higuera.
Oh,
see, to people like
good.
us, you have to. It's Korean barbecue to Californians, but to people that aren't native Californians, it's just called teriyaki.
It's weird because, we had all these teriyaki places. It was teriyaki chicken and beef, and then you get rice and cabbage with it. It would come in a styrofoam thing. And this was everywhere in the Northwest.
So like on every corner, like as plentiful as Starbucks.
No sushi at all, really. It's probably changed now, but now it's you come down here, there's no teriyaki, except for now they're called Hawaiian barbecue restaurants, and they serve the chicken.
Yeah, but the problem was, they were these teriyaki places would be super good and super cheap. Because they'd be everywhere. So they were in high competition.
Right.
California, they realized, the sushi places can do it. The Hawaiian barbecue places can do it. But by calling it Hawaiian barbecue or making it a sushi place, they charge like 5 times as much for what you were getting.
You got to find the right place. I got a place off Grand over there by Smart and Final. They're pretty good, and it's pretty cheap. It's like $9. You get a big combo meal.
And
macaroni
to
salad.
adjust for inflation of the 90s, that was probably very comparable.
But back in the day, $4.50, $5.
$3.95.
Yeah, $3.95.
Happy Teriyaki by the airport in Seattle was $3.95. And it was you'd have leftovers.
Look at that. I wonder if they're still in business.
Oh, look at that.
Definitely left an imprint on you. All right,
yeah,
so
Shin's is very similar to that. But it's so good because it's cooked right there in front of you.
When you first brought the market back, we couldn't eat at the market, but now we can eat at the market. There's tables and chairs, right?
Yeah, it's cool. We have the tables and chairs we've always had on Broad Street, and a lot of the parklets are open and operating, so you can get food from the surrounding restaurants as well and eat in their parklets, which is kind of a cool new added element to
What's the update on the parklet situation? Have you been abreast of that as far as wasn't there going to be a meeting or something like that to see if they could be permanent, stay longer?
Yeah, I think there was a council hearing on it, but I don't know what the follow-up was. As far as I know, what I've been told is they're here through at least the end of 2021.
Okay.
Whether or not
nice.
that has been put into writing and signed off on, I'm not sure, but that's what people keep.
I know there's businesses downtown. I walked into one yesterday, and they were not happy about the parklets because they're taking away parking. But it's I don't know what to tell you. I like it.
Yeah,
it's
I
good
think
energy.
If anything, they made it work however they could make it work, and now they're going to try to streamline and really shape it up so the parklets will have a bit of a structure in place. They'll have to look a certain way. There'll be a certain amount of hours they have to operate, so it's not just being space occupied with nothing happening.
All right, so we got a rock cover band on the Pomo. We got some juggling, comedy, acrobats on Choro and Higuera. We got acoustic covers of soft and pop rock.
Yeah, I think.
Does that mean they're going to play Steve Winwood? And
hey, you never know. I'm going with a John Mayer vibe here.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
I think tonight's the night to go to the market.
Is it fairly easy to find booking acts now? As because people are they want to get out and work, and they want to get out and get their product out there. Is it easier than it's ever been finding acts to play the market?
I have gotten a lot of new people that have inquired. I think yes, it's definitely good and people are responding. We could always use more. We always like to have variety. And since we're running a market every Thursday, we can essentially bring in 5 different acts every Thursday. So we can always accept more applications. So if entertainers want to come out, last week, the Triple Pants were out there and I should send you the video of their crowd. It was just so crazy. So many people. It kind of looked like concerts in the plaza a little bit.
Wow.
And, the tips were great, and they were so stoked. They're excited to come back this week. It is a cool opportunity if you're an entertainer. I think we had over 7,000 people come through last week.
Oh, wow.
So
DowntownSlow.com. You can find out
hear.
more about the market. Don't forget, no pets. Of course, they do have a bike valet, so you can ride your bike down there. And you can you go to DowntownSlow.com if you have any other questions. And we'll see you down there tonight, Whitney.
Sounds good. See you from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock.